Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time for Golden Globes predictions. Golden Globe nominations 2023 edition. Something we should remember. The Golden Globes back in 2021, I know so long ago, 86 members, HFPA voters. Then they got in trouble, whoopsie doopsie. Then they added 21 HFPA members. Last year they added an international voting body that weren't HFPA members, plus 100 members. This year, plus another 100 members. So we have 310 voters right now. Most of Golden Globes history has been like 80-something voters. This means the voting body will be different. The actual original Golden Globes voters, that is less than a third of the entire group. At the minimum, we know they will be less influenced by press events and gifts and stuff, because that's what they got in trouble for. And these international people scattered across the globe, you can't even get these people into a room. You can't, they're just all over the place.
So Ridley Scott probably won't get nominated for Napoleon for director for no reason?
Yeah, that old Golden Globes logic, I think it applies less. And if you look last year, I was actually thinking, they kind of felt like the regular Golden Globes in many ways.
Sure.
They didn't nominate Julia Roberts and George Clooney for Ticket to Paradise. That'd be super Globesy. But they did, go nuts for Elvis, and they gave director Baz Luhrmann got a nomination, and Eddie Redmayne and Brad Pitt were nominated in supporting actors. It felt, even though their body doubled, that it was still kind of Globesy.
I still don't know what it means to feel Golden Globesy.
We know what it means. We all know intuitively what that means.
You think so?
Oh yeah, we sure do.
Okay. Because they nominated Ruth Negga also last year, and we were like, oh, that's not a Golden Globesy thing to do.
Right.
Usually, though, the logic still applies that whatever's the most likely to be nominated for Best Picture is going to get a nomination. Big change that they have 6 nominations.
6 slots in pretty much every category now.
Yeah. Also got a special announcement for you. Many of you are already aware, I have created an Oscar predictions app. It's called Award Expert. It's on the iOS store, soon to be the Play Store. Working on it as we speak. The app's been on the App Store since around March or April, but I didn't feel confident about promoting it on the channel because I promoted it on Twitter and then it broke for a lot of people. And I spent a long time fixing those bugs. But now it's in a state where I am very confident that it's going to work well for you and that you're going to have a good experience using it.
It's a feat that you made it. It's really a feat. And the fans are going to think it's a feat and a treat.
It will remain free. I don't really care that much about making money off of it, but we'll see. And, my real goal overall is to prove to you eventually, maybe it's not there yet, but that it will be your favorite Oscar predictions tool. Now, you might be saying, well, Gold Derby exists. I put my predictions on Gold Derby. Why would I need something else? Well, I would encourage you to use it and find out, but I'll give you some reasons right now that this does something that Gold Derby already does not do. Number 1 is you can predict as many movies as you want in any category. Number 2, it doesn't incentivize you to think about odds, so you can just get that out of your head and just try to make accurate predictions. Number 3 is, it's very easy to keep up with what your friends do on this app. So if you follow somebody else, their predictions for you, if they just update it, are going to come up in the first screen that you see. It's a much better social predictions experience so far than Gold Derby is. And the last reason is, I made the stats very detailed. You can actually go on the app right now and see which slot Oppenheimer is most predicted in, which is obviously number 1 right now, but you can see how many people are predicting that as number 2, number 3, and so on. And you'll see, for example, Barbie, most people have that at number 4. You can see the prediction distribution across a nice little graph. And when you click on a movie, you can see the details about all the nominations and wins that movie is currently predicted to get. So I think these are all really cool features that I'm happy to share with you. And eventually, we will have leaderboards. We will have history tracking, so you can go back in time and see how you did at any given point in the year. And next year, but not this year, we will get the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, the BAFTAs, all those in here. But for this year, it's still in the early stages. We're just going to do the Oscars. So go ahead and enjoy your little app playground. And if there's any bugs, anything you want to suggest, there is a tab where you can put in a request. You can send a message saying what you like, what you don't like. And back to the video.
Let's start out with drama picture. I think Oppenheimer has a great chance of winning this award. It's almost like a no-brainer. It's definitely up the
especially with the Fabelmans winning last year and them being one of the only people to deviate from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that or Killers of the Flower Moon, which I think is kind of in the running here. It's kind of in the running.
If Killers of the Flower Moon wins over Oppenheimer here, that for me is an oh no. The reason it's an oh no for Oppenheimer is because I don't consider the Killers of the Flower Moon to be that strong.
For the win.
For the win. For the Oscar win. For any Best Picture win, I consider Oppenheimer to be much, stronger. So that would really like flip things around for me.
Well, people thought that like The Irishman was going to win, didn't they? Back in 2019.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious that Killers is not more than The Irishman this year. Like, it's just not more.
No, I think Oppenheimer is like, that's going to win drama. The only other nominee that's like completely obvious to me is Maestro. Maestro is very much happening. A lot of these movies moved to the comedy musical category, and including some that are barely comedies, like May December. But Past Lives, I think, has a very good shot of getting in, just because of the competition. You know, you go down enough and you say, that makes more sense. That feels a little more safe than some of the other movies. So
yeah,
I would say Past Lives, like, sure, yeah.
Fair enough.
In other years, like, I might be willing to say that's like Minari and they don't go for it, but just because of the competition here, I think, why not put that in there?
I think so. I mean, there's an argument for Anatomy of a Fall being number 4, but like still, that would still land Past Lives at number 5.
Anatomy of a Fall, I think, may very well win the international category here, and Sandra Hüller stands a pretty good chance getting an actress nomination. Yeah. So that, I think, can put the movie in for drama picture. Zone of Interest, I don't know what's happening with this movie at the Golden Globes, because is it going to get any other nominations? It'll probably get foreign language film. I think it stands a very slim shot for score. And it's not going to get... I don't think it's going to get director.
Zone of Interest? Yeah, I don't think so.
And
that would show them to be very, astute film people, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
very seasoned and
it would.
Intellectual.
Right. You know, we usually don't have to think about 6 slots at the Golden Globes. That's why this is so hard. Because it's that, or maybe it's the Iron Claw. Because the Iron Claw, you saw it.
I am an expert. I have seen the Iron Claw. Iron Claw is really good. I think there's still an embargo on it, so we don't have the official critic reviews, but...
We have Letterboxd, so the Letterboxd curve's at a 3.6. I think it might end up at like a 3.8 or 7.
Yeah, my reaction to it was like, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It really moved me. And, you know, I was expecting from Sean Durkin that it might be a very cold and distant movie, but it's very in love with the Von Erich family. The ensemble is great. It's very well made. I would not be shocked if this actually made a play for Best Picture at the Oscars and was like a very late-breaking film. I think we'd have to see audiences drive that one like a little bit further into the Best Picture goalpost, and like it just is not out yet.
Zac Efron in Best Actor seems kind of likely for the Golden Globes, which makes me think, you know, that's more above the line nominations than the Zone of Interest is going to get.
Also, Golden Globes easy to screen too, so we got to get ahead of this.
No, they're not.
Well, there are 300 people
all across the globe. Scattered across the globe.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still not that many people. Let's assume like most of them have seen it. I think it stands a very good chance to get in, honestly.
Well, I don't know what to do, though.
It's a very good movie. It does have that awards feel to it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a solid like top 15 for Best Picture, but I would say like between 10 and 15 is probably where I would put it.
But if we think that the Zone of Interest is more likely to be nominated for Best Picture, and I'm still very iffy on that.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know how to assess.
Then wouldn't I put that in for the Golden Globes?
Right.
Does it help that there are so heavily an international body this year? Ferrari would be like a traditional kind of like Globes could do it, but I don't know if I want to go by that.
That would hurt me because you have Zone of Interest and Iron Claw there, both some of, I think the best movies of the year.
I think there's a possibility that All of Us Strangers, I don't know, maybe there's like enough to get that into a 6. Like there's passion for the movie, there's passion for it. The Boys in the Boat, George Clooney's film, apparently very conventional, reviews embargoed still. Again, this is maybe something I'd consider more if the Globes were back to 80 voters and they can get everybody in a room and like everybody can like give George Clooney a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening here. Yeah. So is there a possibility for Origin? Drama, Actress, and Picture? I'd be very surprised. My cognitive dissonance would be off the charts.
Yeah.
Comedy, Musical, Picture. I actually think this is like the race to look out for. Drama, Picture is going to be really obvious. Picture and Director are going to go to Oppenheimer. But this, I know that we think Poor Things is maybe most likely to win the Oscar for Best Picture, but like we saw last year and in the Birdman year, the comedy category doesn't always correlate with what's winning Best Picture. And in a way, I feel like The Holdovers or Barbie could be like, could kind of make sense for a Golden Globes pick. Again, maybe what a Golden Globes pick is up in the air at this point. Emma Stone's probably going to win though. I'll say it, but I think that Paul Giamatti might win comedy actor. That could give it a little boost, a little something to bolster that comedy win, or maybe Barbie wins screenplay or supporting actor, and that can bolster that win. So, in my opinion, that's a 3-way race for the win in Comedy, Musical, Picture. I don't know if The Color Purple is part of that race for the win, because people seem to be very enthusiastic about it from the reactions. Mm-hmm. But I still think that like you know, overall the critic reception's going to be like, it's not going to get an 80 on Metacritic, you know, but it's a crowd movie. It's a crowd pleaser.
I'm really feeling like American Fiction's going to happen. I know you're a little on the cusp for Best Picture, but I feel like there's a place in awards season that it's satisfying that other films just really aren't. Like, it has its own territory staked out, and I feel like it is strong.
No, I agree.
For some people, it's like one of their favorite movies of the year. It's actually grown on me quite a bit. I even watched it again, and I think it's, you know, maybe flawed, but I really respect the movie, and I like it a lot. I would be shocked if it didn't get in here, actually. I think the top 5 is, like, really solid.
Oh, yeah. If there wasn't a 6th slot, you could just ship this away.
Yeah.
However, you do have a 6th slot, and May, December, and Air are really duking it out for that drama with jokes slot. May December has been making a mega splash, at least in like the Letterboxd Twitter community, because it just came out on Netflix, and the reception has been kinder than it was at Cannes. It's not just like an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10 for people. People are 9 out of 10ing this thing, left and right.
I'm 9 out of 10ing
it is one of the top 10 movies of the year. It is one of the top 5 movies of the year.
Oh, wow, you're going to go 5.
Oh, no doubt. Charles Melton's winning awards. Charles Melton is on track to get an Oscar
I'm very
nomination.
happy that he's going to be the critics' sweeper this year.
The iron is hot on this movie. Whether or not that dies down by the time of the Oscars, to be determined. But I think right now, this is a hot movie. This is a movie that just came out on Netflix. People are talking about it a lot.
Yeah, people are really talking about it.
So like this it's like hitting right now.
That's
this
true.
is like when the
Fair
Golden
enough.
Globe voting is going to be happening. So
the iron is hot, I agree.
If it didn't hit here, that'd be insane. I still think that May, December in many ways, for a lot of people, will be a movie when it ends, and that's like not the best thing for the Oscars. They don't like when you don't know how to feel about a thing.
Yeah, like I can't confidently say, oh, my parents are gonna love May December. Like they'll probably like some things and then be like about other things.
Speaking of though, they did not love American Fiction. They thought it was like all right.
Now, Air, on the other hand, is a movie that our parents did like a lot. Both mother and father really liked Air.
Kind of a no-brainer.
The reason that I reference the parents is because, you know, they're pretty like normie when it comes to movies. Like they will watch all the Best Picture movies because they think that they like their children, and their children predict the Oscars. The crowd pleasers work very well, especially on Mother. And then the dad likes the dad movies. He likes movies that get into the details, but like, you know, nothing too abstract, you know?
And there's definitely evidence that there are Academy voters that have like this kind of taste. This is like what makes Coda beat The Power of the Dog. First of all, Matt Damon's getting comedy actor. This would be a no-brainer, like, if there was not a lot of competition. If we're going off of anything in terms of, like, traditional Golden Globes, my God, they seem like they would like Air. My God, they seem like they would like it.
I also still have a hard time placing May December over Air because I feel like Air might still have a better shot for Best Picture. But at the same time,
I don't think
May
so,
December
actually.
has a higher nomination ceiling than Air, and I think May December is more guaranteed to get a nomination at the Oscars than Air because I think Charles Melton is the most likely for that movie.
And I think the screenplay is more likely than Air.
Yeah, and then Air, I'm like, okay, maybe screenplay, maybe picture. Supporting actress, good luck, maybe, I don't know.
She's also, like, she could get in theoretically at the Golden Globes because of the 6 slots, but, like, I just can't say that, like, how May December would miss right now. Right now. And also, they liked Carol a lot. They gave Carol all the nominations. I was thinking, if Air sits out, do I tuck it in? But
no, you don't tuck anything in after the Golden Globes.
Here's why I don't tuck it in.
You don't do that.
Here's why I don't, though. Because SAG, WGA, and PGA, they still have to happen. You'd wait till then, but like that would be a very bad sign for Air to not get into the top 6 Golden Globe comedy slots.
And how confident do you feel that Poor Things will win?
No.
There's at least 3. Honestly, there's 4. I consider The Color Purple in the winning conversation because,
that'd be insane.
You know, musicals. They might just like to go all out for that.
Is Fantasia going to beat Emma Stone?
Probably not.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think that it's going to be Poor Things because of Emma Stone,
Fine.
The Holdovers because of Giamatti, or Barbie because of Gosling or Screenplay if they really want to go there.
That's fair. Poor Things feels a little bit like Banshees this year, too.
It's a really tough top 3. Let's go drama actor. You know, this race, the Oscar and here, this is Bradley Cooper versus Cillian Murphy. Mm-hmm. It could go either way. Bradley Cooper, have seen Maestro. That performance is the type of thing that wins the Oscar. Absolutely.
No one would disagree that it's the type
and it's probably winning makeup at the... But here's the thing. Cillian Murphy, I feel like the passion for that performance and the movie is very, very strong. And so I think, like, and he's just having such a good year. Like, there's so much goodwill for Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, but at the same time, Bradley Cooper, he's been on Good Morning America. I just watched a Good Morning America piece on him. And him doing his whole transforming thing. and him saying that he channeled Bernstein and that he like
Yeah,
cried when they said his name. It was crazy. I think that still works on people. If Oppenheimer is like a runaway Best Picture movie, then like Cillian Murphy might just still win at the end of the day, kind of like Michelle Yeoh for Everything Ever at Once. But I feel like Bradley Cooper has got this as far as I can see. Also, I gotta say, I saw Maestro. I really dug it. I thought it was an amazingly crafted movie. Very well done. Bradley Cooper is like, you know, going nuts in that director chair. My God. And this might be Matthew Libatique's best work in the cinematographer chair.
No, Black Swan.
I still think this might be better than Black Swan.
It's showier, but I think Black Swan's like more interesting.
This film was immaculate though, and it was very interesting. The cinematography was substantial. It wasn't just for the show.
I liked Maestro, but less than you. I'm still very 50-50 on what's winning. I mean, we don't have to predict the winner right here. So we'll just say that they're both in. I think we might be in for a Cillian Murphy year though.
I don't know.
I
just don't agree.
DiCaprio's definitely getting in. We know that. Colman Domingo for Rustin. Now, I think that with 6 slots in drama, he can get in. But I'm a little concerned in general about him because nobody fucking saw that movie on Netflix. Yeah. It dropped dead on Netflix. That is one of the best performances of the year.
I feel like people are just skimming through and they're like, yeah, I've kind of seen that movie before. Next.
You know what else they do? Who's Rustin? Kind of a problem from the get-go with that movie.
The whole point of the movie is to tell people who he is.
But unfortunately, people only like watching movies about people that they already know who they are. I'm not confident in anybody beyond the top 3, which are locked in.
That's fair.
Zac Efron, I think that's fair. I think it's safe. Who are the Golden Globes this year? Are the Golden Globes going out for critics' picks? Can the Golden Globes nominate Andrew Scott or Koji Yakusho? They fucking should. They should nominate both of them.
Yeah.
But will they? Is that who they are? I don't know. Is them being international, does that mean they like Koji Yakusho? I don't know. Typical Globes, you might say, look, Barry Keoghan, apparently Saltburn is drama, by the way. You'd say Barry Keoghan, Saltburn, because honestly, Saltburn's like a little buzzy. Like, I know a lot of critics are mixed on it, but most people come away and they're like, wow, that movie was crazy. Yeah. And Barry Keoghan's excellent in it. There's no denying it. So, in a way, he does make sense for a nomination.
Saltburn, also a movie that we just saw, very good. I think he would be. So. You didn't think it was very good?
I thought it was meh.
But like, okay, but once you get over like that, it's kind of vapid. It's pretty awesome.
I'm not over that it's vapid.
Fine. Barry Keoghan was excellent in the movie. I would be really happy if he got nominated here. Yeah. I think it's a solid bet because he's really on people's radars and he's a huge standout.
I mean, honestly, if we're thinking that the Golden Globes have anything to do with like, you know, who the Oscars nominate, then if we're being honest, we know that Andrew Scott's more likely to get nominated for the Oscar than Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, probably.
Because Andrew Scott might get the BAFTA nomination. Yeah. Don't we think maybe it'd be best to put an Andrew Scott at number 6?
I just don't know what to do with All the Strangers because I don't think it's that worthy.
Yeah, but like I feel like enough people are pretty into it. It'd be weird if like something else happened. It'd be weird if Joaquin Phoenix for Napoleon or Adam Driver for Ferrari. I'd love it if Teo Yu could squeeze in, but I just get the sense that he's just not going to happen anywhere. Nah. I feel okay about Zac Efron and Colman Domingo, but then that 6th slot, to me, is going to be Keoghan or Scott. I feel like Koji Yakusho is a little bit of a pipe dream for me, and I don't want to get carried away with that. You think Barry Keoghan makes sense?
I think I would have him over Andrew Scott. I mean, All of Us Strangers is just a little bit harder of a film to, like, get into for some people.
Best Actress. For the win, it's between Lily Gladstone and Carey Mulligan. And after seeing Maestro, I think we cannot dismiss Carey Mulligan as a win. I think we cannot dismiss that.
I think she's better here than she was in Promising Young Woman. Right? But I mean, how much, like, give Carey the Oscar do people have inside of them?
The critics are doing this for Lily Gladstone this year. I actually don't, like, understand the Lily Gladstone thing that much. And I still think that, like, in the other 2 movies that I've seen her in, I prefer what she's doing in those 2 movies to this one even. I am just like not quite on this wavelength, but we got to try to gauge what's going on here with Lily Gladstone because there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of people who feel like she needs the Oscar.
I'm gonna say like a hot take here. I think there's a lot of cope with Killers of the Flower Moon where like people want that character to be more like, in the end, I can't say that she does that much. Like, I think the film wanted her to do more and then also like didn't have enough for her to do. And I'm being vague about that on purpose in case anyone hasn't seen it. I just feel like the film couldn't decide who she was. I don't think they injected her perspective in a way that I found like made sense.
I don't know. Let's go Carey Mulligan right now. We can switch this up if we, obviously we're not predicting winners right now.
If Carey Mulligan gets this award, that will help her immensely because
Yeah,
I
that would
think
put her in
people
recognition.
aren't seeing her as like getting the award, but if she takes one, people might run with it and be like, "Oh my god, it's her year!"
Sandra Hüller, if she doesn't get nominated, that's absolute bollocks.
Yeah.
But I think she will get in with 6
She'll get
slots.
in. She could maybe win.
Not this one.
She might.
That'd be crazy for her to beat these two.
It might be crazy, but it might not be that crazy.
Annette Bening, I think, Actually, remember how the Golden Globes like snubbed Jared Leto? And we were like, that's what you're supposed to do. Liking Nyad is very much a thing the Golden Globes seem like they would do.
Yeah.
But what if they don't this year? What if they're a little different and they just don't this year? Actually, I have no reason to think that there's anybody else who's a reasonable substitute out of the 6. I feel like the 6 is actually very, very easy.
I think if anything, you might want to be like, all right, Greta Lee number 4. But that's it.
I think that's maybe fine. If Past Lives in Picture, I think this is a good package. Actress Picture. I think that's where this movie probably goes.
Kelly Spaney and Priscilla, I think this is the most expected thing to happen. I feel like this top 6 is the most expected. People really like her in Priscilla. I think she's very good in it.
No, this makes sense. This is like, a big biopic performance for the year.
I do wonder, like, I don't know what's happening with the campaign for 1001, but I wonder, like,
it's actually
if
not
everybody sees it.
It came out very early in the year, and I think that people didn't do a lot with it, so I think it probably is not going to make it all the way to the Golden Globes.
If she could get in over Annette Bening or Kelly Spaney, I would be, like, really stoked about it.
Ingenue Ellis for Origin, I mean, look, you can try and surprise me. Maybe that happens.
That'd be like crazy to me. I just think all the hype about her getting Best Actress is not happening.
Comedy musical actor, I actually feel decent about Paul Giamatti at number 1.
Yeah.
Over Jeffrey Wright. I feel like Jeffrey Wright, even though he does a lot in the movie, there's a lot of goodwill for him to get a nomination. I feel like Paul Giamatti is a great moment for him, and I think that he's actually number 3 for the Oscar. People thinking that he's going to get Sideways again, Nah, he's coming along with the movie.
He's so pitch perfect, too. I just saw the movie again.
Jeffrey Wright is easily getting in for American Fiction. Matt Damon for Air is also pretty much a no-brainer at this point.
Jeffrey Wright is a possible spoiler, and that would be a scenario where American Fiction is a top 5 movie overall in awards season.
Well, that's not going to be top 5. Not for what I think the top 5 is. That's insane. Right. That'd be insane. I think Timothée Chalamet and Wonka's going for this. They're just going to go for it. It's a musical performance. It's a comedy performance. He's a big star. With the competition here, this is easily, that makes sense.
Do people like him in the movie?
Yeah, for the most part. There are a couple of things that say he's miscast, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't need to be unanimous.
Yeah, it probably doesn't even matter.
Nicolas Cage Dream Scenario. This is definitely number 5 for me.
Yeah, because when I was looking at the other options, I was like, where is anybody?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see anybody for miles beyond this.
Yeah. And Nicolas Cage is amazing in Dream Scenario.
Yeah, it's a great role for him.
Among his best performances, and I'd love to see him get something for this, and this is a great something. Number 6, LOL. We don't know what's happening. So here are the options. Let's go through the options. You have Jamie Foxx in The Burial, which I do have at number 6 for now, unless you want to convince me out of it. I'll tell you this.
I don't know anything about
Let me tell you a couple things about this. I haven't seen it. But people actually say it's surprisingly good. Number 1, it's a crowd pleaser. It's like a 7.4 on IMDb, and it's not like no one's watched it either on Amazon. Like it has 20,000 votes on there, so it's not like nobody's seen it.
Campaign?
And people say he's great in it. People say he's just great. He's funny. He's a blast. So this makes kind of sense to me. The movie is just very much not being pictured in the awards race at all. So maybe
does this movie have critic reviews on its side?
Yeah, they're decent.
Oh, it's a 74 on Metacritic.
Really?
That's actually really good. 90 from Variety. Huh? Wow. Wow, you've convinced me easily that this might happen. Wow.
Jason Schwartzman for Asteroid City.
Yeah.
I'd be glad about it.
I'd be happy about that. I think that'd be great.
I think that's a maybe.
I think it's one of his best performances.
But I'll say this. There's no lower rated film from Wes Anderson on IMDb than Asteroid City.
Really?
Yeah, the audiences hate... No, the audiences do not know what to do with Asteroid City.
Huh.
That's what they said after the movie ended.
It's like it roped me back into Wes Anderson. I was ready to be like I don't know about this guy, and then Asteroid City, and I was like, you know what? You've got my attention again.
Schwartzman Asteroid City is not an impossibility. I think it makes a lot more sense than some of the things people are predicting. Now, one of the things that people are always predicting is Gael Garcia Bernal and Cassandra quite high on Gold Derby, in the top 6 on Gold Derby. In a way, it makes sense. Look, it's a showy performance in a sort of comedic biopic. Lots of praise handed to him, but I feel like people aren't paying attention to that movie. Other options and we're fucking digging here. Paul Dano, Dumb Money, that's a dig. Didn't hate him in it, but that's a huge dig.
Don't think so.
John Boyega, They Clone Tyrone. People like him a lot in that. Jesus Christ. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Flora and Son, nah.
He's really good in it, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then Michael Fassbender, Next Goal Wins. That's all I can come up with, man. That's it.
That'd be wild if he got nominated for that. I don't think he needs to. You made a good case for Jamie Foxx in The Burial. Is that even on Gold Derby?
Oh, apparently Jamie Foxx is number 7 for The Burial. I guess I didn't pluck that out of thin air.
There's a lot supporting you now.
Comedy musical actress. Emma Stone, probably winning. I don't know that Fantasia Barrino stands a chance to the upset. Maybe she stands a chance to upset, but
yeah,
that would still be surprising.
I don't think so, though, because people say in The Color Purple that the supporting performances are standout. Emma Stone, however, people are like, whoa, give her the Oscar, whoa.
No, that's the thing is like, there are some people, they watch Poor Things and they're like, I can't imagine the Oscar going any other way than Emma Stone. And then there are people who say that about Lily Gladstone. I don't know how to calculate these two. Margot Robbie for Barbie is a lock. Absolute lock. Natalie Portman, May December. Now this has to happen.
Oh yeah.
In this category, my God, this has to happen.
Look, you have to exhaust the possibilities for actors that could actually get an Oscar nomination. So that's the top 4 for you.
Jennifer Lawrence, No Hard Feelings. I think that was very well appreciated this year for being like a good comedic performance in a movie that was pretty widely seen and, you know, generally enjoyed and appreciated, especially for what she brought to it. So, you know, that just feels, and that feels right, and that feels Globesy too.
I just remembered that Marion Cotillard got nominated for Annette. So you can't tell me that it's not worth, like, going down the list. That could have been a name check, though.
This number 6 slot,
Ayola Berry would be very deserving, and that's who I would like to see here.
It also makes sense because she is like real hot right now.
Yeah.
People really like with all these different things that she's doing that people are loving.
Yep.
And I think that she makes more sense than Rachel Sennett for some reason.
She does. She's also more of the lead.
And remember, Booksmart got one of them nominated, and this movie is very much like Booksmart. I want to say that's the best case I can make. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in the Gold Derby top 6 for You Hurt My Feelings, but I think that movie's a little smaller than some of these other ones. She'd definitely be deserving, but I'm not so sure that, like, that's going to actually happen. I just don't know if I have the feeling.
Yeah, she was great in it, though. I really liked her in it.
I think the other two that you could consider are Eve Houston for Flora and Son. I mean, when I saw that at Sundance, I was like, she could get a Golden Globe nomination, my God.
Yeah.
I don't know if the movie became, like, one of the buzziest movies of the year or anything
like that. Yeah, it feels
that.
like it kind of dropped quietly.
Yeah, so I'm not positive about that, but I wouldn't be shocked to see her come up. No. And I'd be happy for it. And Abby Ryder Fortson for Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret. You know, sometimes they do like to nominate child performances for the lead categories here.
What about Halle Bailey for The Little Mermaid? Like,
I do not think so. I do not think so.
You don't think so?
I just think it's like too Disney, and people aren't really like actually like I don't know that enthusiastic about this movie. They actually didn't nominate Emma Watson for Beauty and the Beast, but I don't know. I'm gonna say Ayola Berry has the edge to me. Director, Nolan's winning. The Golden Globes are totally gonna get behind this. Scorsese locked in for the nomination. I'm so confident Greta Gerwig's getting nominated, I would put her at 3. I'm only skeptical about Greta Gerwig at the Oscars and maybe the BAFTA for director. Like, I am not skeptical that she's getting DGA and Golden Globe and Critics' Choice.
Yeah.
Like, I am pretty convinced about it. Lanthimos for Poor Things at number 4. They didn't nominate him for The Favorite, did they? But I think Poor Things is more well-liked in general. A lot of people think it's his best film. I think it's a little more accessible.
Yeah.
They did snub Todd Field for Tar. They did snub Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza. I had kind of like weird inklings that those would happen, but I don't think that's what this is.
No, I don't
But it
think
does
so.
make me put him at number 4 and not higher. The Golden Globes that we know love Alexander Payne, and they nominate him as much as the Oscars do for Best Director. And I think the holdovers will do very well. So I think that Alexander Payne's getting nominated here.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper for Maestro, I think he'll get nominated here. Remember, he got nominated for almost everything at Star is Born. He
Maestro
just fell short of the
feels
Oscars.
like a top contender. Like, it really does feel like it's a movie that could go for like 10 Oscar nominations. I don't think it necessarily will, but only because the reception's like a little bit mixed. Nonetheless, like, the movie's doing a lot. It's definitely doing enough where Bradley Cooper could get in there, and they also seem to like to nominate actor-directors, right?
Yeah, and also this is like actually legitimately really showy, thoughtful work too in many ways.
Yeah.
I feel like pretty good about that 6. Pretty sure that's the Gold Derby 6. It makes the most sense. I don't think Jonathan Glazer is going to get a Golden Globe nomination. I do think if we're trying to think about alternatives, I do think maybe Todd Haynes, like, who's to say Todd Haynes isn't more in the director we recently think he is?
I think if May December gets in at the Oscars in a surprise fashion, that he might he might also get in director in a surprise.
Or if Glazer starts flopping, then maybe he's the can pick all along. That's the plot twist.
Sure. Cord Jefferson, I wouldn't rule out. I don't think that's crazy. I actually don't think it's crazy.
I think it'd be a weird thing to do, but I agree that maybe it's possible.
If Blitz Bazawule got nominated for The Color Purple, that would just be like an insane showering of love for The Color Purple, which could happen.
Celine's Song is probably possible.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
We can consider it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we can consider it, but that's kind of like, after that, I don't think Sean Durkin will get nominated for The Iron Claw. I just don't see that. Ben Affleck for Air.
Ben Affleck for Air is
like number 12.
Not impossible.
Or 13. Some people are like, hey, Ben Affleck's direction is superb. I'm like, how? Like, it's a very, like, averagely made movie.
We like Air, but, like, I'm still an Air hater. Supporting actress, Danielle Brooks is coming. And if you don't see it, it's gonna happen. You're gonna be hit by it whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
The Color Purple's probably getting Best Picture at the Oscars. It's probably up there.
Yeah.
And Danielle Brooks has apparently has an incredible amount of show-stopping numbers. So
she is Ariana DeBose in West Side Story. Divine Joy Randolph is Katrina Balfe in Belfast. She was a placeholder, and then we're waiting to see if The Color Purple, Danielle Brooks, is going to be that, like, musical Oscar-winning performance, and, like, it is.
To clarify, you don't think that Divine Joy Randolph's getting a snub at the Oscars like Katrina Balfe did, though?
No. And also, the second watch of The Holdovers, Divine Joy Randolph really stole the show for me. Like, there were a couple moments that I really teared up because of her performance.
I think Emily Blunt's pretty safe. I think Taraji P. Henson we can expect to get in as well for The Color Purple. The other two slots, I can totally see Penelope Cruz for Ferrari happening here. I just I really feel like I can see it. But then I can also, especially because Annette Bening will probably come along, I can also very much see Jodie Foster. At the same time, if I think May December is getting supporting actor, actress, picture, and Julianne Moore is going to be left out,
I'm just really curious overall how Julianne Moore is going to do, because I do think May December is going to sprinkle itself all over the place a little bit. But I don't know if she's part of the sprinkling. You're kind of like, I don't even know who this character is, and what I do know, I really don't like. In terms of quality, that's fine to be unlikable, but do you think that may prevent her from getting a nomination at places?
I'm not sure.
That's
obviously,
been my theory.
There are some unlikable characters that are unlikable in the right ways. Like, obviously, villain performances sometimes win Oscars. Fellas, I'm back with another disturbance that I'm announcing to these predictions. So, listen, Julianne Moore, I don't see why it wouldn't happen. I mean, she's getting the nominations so far. If they're nominating May December's other actors, like how not? Taraji P. Henson, just not that confident that she's coming along. A lot of the critics groups haven't seen it so far, so we don't know if people are nominating her. Danielle Brooks is really stealing the thunder on this one, so I'm taking her out. Another thing I need to mention is Emily Blunt hasn't gotten a nomination yet. She hasn't been nominated for anything yet. And it's kind of insane, and it kind of makes me go, holy shit. But I think the safest thing to do is just take out Taraji P. Henson for Julianne Moore.
Jodie Foster just won for a movie she wasn't expected to get nominated for.
For the Martin. Yeah.
So maybe all right, you leave her in. So. It's already nuts that Penelope Cruz is above her, but I don't disagree.
Well, I don't know, but I haven't seen Ferrari. I hear she's really good.
I know. People say she's very scene-stealing. Oh, by the way, the Golden Globes always do the Eddie Redmayne and The Good Nurse. They always do the Bill Murray.
Yeah, but who do you are you saying that's Jodie Foster?
I'm saying that's Penelope Cruz.
No, that's Penelope Cruz. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
so
I
that's
totally
why
agree.
I think that will happen.
I think Viola Davis for Air. If Air got into picture, but I'm not really sure about that. America Ferrera for Barbie. I think she's a thing. I don't know how far she goes, but I think she's at least a thing. Maybe the only real possibility is like Rosamund Pike for Saltburn having a surprise nomination.
That'd be fucking awesome. You have to admit, like, she's so perfect in the role.
She is really good.
So funny.
She is really good.
That if you take like size of performance out of the equation, she's definitely one of the best of the year.
Supporting actor. What if Ryan Gosling shows up in lead? I don't think so though. I don't recall that being a thing that happens.
That'd be insane.
I don't recall that being a thing that happens. Where I'm very surprised at where people's placements are. The Golden Globes. But I actually think that he could win this category. Maybe I would not be surprised if he won.
Yeah,
and I think Robert Downey Jr. has also a very good shot of winning. They both make a lot of sense.
My take is you should put Charles Melton at number 3.
At the Globes?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because I think he's number 3 in general.
I mean, he might
I think
be.
he's the third most likely to win, unless you think Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things could actually win.
I'm not talking about wins. I'm talking about most likely to be nominated, man.
I know, but I think that if you consider him the third most likely to win, you should consider him the third most likely to be nominated.
I think that it's... I think Robert De Niro is, like, going to get nominated here. I think Mark
That's fine.
Ruffalo's going to get nominated. Like,
That's
Charles
fine.
Melton, I think there's a slim chance that it's like, what the fuck?
You think so, though? Because you have May December in the top 6. It would have to get no nominations.
No, you could give it picture and actress because they're in the comedy categories and say, well, they got in because they're in comedy, but the movie's weak overall.
That would hurt.
It would hurt, yeah, but I'm just saying, like...
I guess I could.
Like, sometimes critics' things don't translate.
I feel like at this point, if you don't nominate Charles Melton, you hate May December. Like, if they gave it picture and actress, I would still say they hate it. I would be like, you hate that movie because you didn't nominate him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about him at number 5, though. Like, I think he's getting...
How could he... Yeah, you have him in anyway. That's fine.
The 6 is the 6 that everybody has for the Oscar right now.
Not everybody has Willem Dafoe, actually.
No, I know, but in the 6, people have him in the 6. People think that Willem Dafoe is the swappable one for Charles Melton. Part of me wonders if maybe it somehow ends up being Ruffalo or Robert De Niro. I don't know. It could be crazy. We shouldn't be so certain about how this category is going to turn out. Like, just based on history, if you look at what we think at December, you should not be confident that you know what the 5 is. Or even the 6.
Yeah.
So Sterling K. Brown could shake things up.
Oh, we could see a big shakeup in this.
I feel like the main reason we don't take him that seriously is because we think, oh, he's trying to fit into like a category that's just already too crowded. But like, what if he's already on the train?
Here's why we could see a big shakeup here, because we don't know who's snubbable. And often we're surprised when we think a movie's getting like a double supporting nomination and then no one gets nominated.
Oh,
which happened with Women Talking and Spotlight, which is why... Yeah. I don't know exactly what's happening with Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe, and as much as I want to say that that's like a double nomination that I'm going to call early, I honestly can't say that I know a thing.
Well, last year we didn't think the 2 Banshees boys were getting at the Golden Globes. We thought that Barry Keoghan wasn't happening yet, and he did. They nominated both Belfast boys.
The double supporting nominations, like, they happen for sure, but it's not always easy to see. All you have to do is point to the fact that Spotlight won Best Picture and had a hard time getting just one supporting actor in there.
Also, the reason that Charles Melton's not higher, the main reason, the Golden Globes like to go with names that they recognize, for the most part. So think about it. Like, Stephanie Hsu did not get nominated for Everything Everywhere.
That's true. Sterling K. Brown would be a lot, but listen, I actually think Dominic Sessa and Coleman Domingo might be the ones you'd like to consider over Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction.
I think that they're very much in the mix, but I actually think Sterling K. Brown, we really may be underestimating him. Like, he might just fucking start getting into SAG and shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, it would be strange to me. Having seen the movie twice, I still wouldn't really get him getting nominated for an Oscar for it. Like, I just wouldn't really understand it.
People think that he's like one of the big takeaways from like performance-wise from the movie.
That's fine.
He has an Oscar scene too.
I've heard that Coleman Domingo is big in The Color Purple. And I know that he doesn't get as much shout-outs as the actresses.
He doesn't.
He is big in it.
No, so, I think Dominic Sessa's maybe like number 8
here. Yeah, that's who I could see stealing something from someone.
Golden Globes might want somebody who's more seasoned or recognized, and this is his first role. I think he fucking deserves it. Like, I'll be happy for him if he gets anything this award season, absolutely.
John Magaro, like, where did he go? He's very gone. Like, I don't even know if he's top 10 for me.
Jeremy Allen White, The Iron Claw, you think that's possible?
I think it's possible, but they'd have to really like The Iron Claw.
What if De Niro is De Niro for The Irishman all over again, and he just happens to be somebody who's not getting that slot, and then there's a new slot.
And sometimes it's we have to wait until the Golden Globes. It's like the first sign that something's wrong. I feel like there's a possibility that one of the Killer's boys does not make it into the Oscars.
I think DiCaprio is just going to make it, and I think the actors fucking love him, and it's really showy. De Niro in The Irishman, he had almost all these factors, but he didn't have the factor that it's that showy for him. Whereas DiCaprio, my God.
Well, De Niro was more showy here than he has been in a while.
I know, that's why I'm not so convinced that he's going to be able to get snubbed.
Yeah.
Although not everybody's into the voice that he's doing, I guess. Best screenplay, I think that this 6 is actually not really very hard to say. It's hard to say what's winning. Poor Things, Barbie, Holdovers,
American Fiction,
Oppenheimer. All movies that could win, maybe.
Top 5.
I do think Barbie could, do this. Even if it doesn't win Comedy Musical Picture, maybe, perhaps.
I have a little sneaking suspicion that maybe American Fiction could pull off the Oscar win, which makes me think it could maybe pull off this win. But even Oppenheimer, I could see. Holdovers, I'm not going to say is top 3.
But all these movies...
I feel like Holdovers is not actually going to win.
American Fiction's like the only one of these that's not going to be in director, though. I don't know if it would be that strong where it could win screenplay here. You know, if there were only 5 slots, I'd really consider maybe not having Killers nominated.
Yeah, because that's not going to win, is it? I mean, that's
it's the least likely to win. It's bizarre that people still think it has a shot at the Oscar.
Well, this would be quite insane if there were 5 slots. Would you really say Killers would not get nominated?
I feel like American Fiction's going to emerge as one of a really strong screenplay contender in its category.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I mean, I do think Killers seems like the kind of thing that just gets picture, director, screenplay at the Globes, so...
This is where, you know, it would have been interesting if we had 5 to see which one doesn't get nominated. Nonetheless, here we are, and it's pretty solid. Like, this is very solid. I do feel like Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives are solid prospects here. Even May December. Past Lives and Anatomy of a Fall are some of the best screenplays of the year, absolutely.
I'd be surprised if they got in here, though. I don't think they're going to go, like, nuts for Anatomy of a Fall, and I don't think that they're going to give it, like, director or anything like that.
I would say that's number... I don't really believe that Air is going to get a screenplay nomination.
Best score, Oppenheimer, we have winning.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's not going to happen. Killers is going to get nominated.
Yep.
I think Poor Things will be nominated.
Yep.
That's all I'm sure about. For some reason, I was trying to make a 5, and I could not do it. I was like, I literally don't know what the 5th slot is, and then I remembered, oh yeah, there are 6 slots. So now I don't know what to do, times 2. I'll say this, though. These motherfuckers like Daniel Pemberton. They nominated him for Motherless Brooklyn and Steve Jobs. But they didn't nominate him for Chicago 7, and we were trying to predict that.
Yeah.
But he has 2 movies this year. He has Spider-Verse. There's been buzz about the score all year, and they're doing like live performances where they have an orchestra and like a guy playing like the DJ, like scratchy things. I feel like the Globes sometimes pull through for like the score that people want.
Yeah.
The big scores that people want. And plus the fact that it's Daniel Pemberton, I could say is probably a better bet than a lot of other things here. I could see them snubbing it though. Like I do think that people are going to be disappointed by Spider-Verse's turnout in many places. A lot of the fans will be disappointed, but it could definitely happen for these 6 slots. It'd be kind of a shame if it didn't get into these 6.
I mean, what about Elemental as the other animated film that's a prospect here?
Are you going to sing you a song called They Fucking Hate Thomas Newman? Thomas Newman has been nominated for American Beauty and 1917, and that
and yet for Oscar nominations, he's had, what, 15 or something?
15. Yeah. So look,
wow.
I don't think that he's going to get nominated for Elemental. He didn't even get nominated for Finding Nemo. I actually think if there's another animated movie nominated, which like maybe, because series contender for me putting it number 6 is Boy and the Heron.
It's a very gentle score though. I just listened to it yesterday.
Yeah, but people really like it.
Well, they like the composer, really. Given his repertoire and how classic some of his scores are, I don't know if Boy and the Heron like lives up to those.
You're in the minority. People are obsessed with the score for Boy and the Heron. They really are obsessed with it. Yeah. No. People like the gentle, basic piano stuff more than you understand, I think.
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked the stuff, but I just would have liked more, I suppose.
I also want to say this. I think that if Spider-Verse didn't exist, or if I wasn't dealing with the idea of competing Pemberton scores, I'd be like pretty tempted to throw Ferrari in there as a surprise.
Because that's also Daniel Pemberton?
Yeah, but something about it also just feels like the Globes could like throw a surprise in there. I'll tell you another surprise I think could happen. Wonka?
Yeah. Do they ever do musicals for score?
It happened with Encanto when we didn't expect it. It happened with Mary Poppins Returns. We didn't expect it.
That could happen.
But
that could happen.
There are a couple people who have said the score is decent, but I've inquired with somebody who's seen the film, and they didn't say that seemed very possible. Like, there's something about it that I think, yeah, that could happen, but I'm just not necessarily convinced. Now, Society of the Snow, Michael Giacchino, they didn't nominate him for the Batman when people thought they were going to. He still only has a nomination for Up, but this score has been getting mega buzz. Mega buzz. I don't know if Society of the Snow is catching on, like, yet, but I'll tell you this. That movie is going to show up on some Oscar shortlists, and we're going to have to reckon with, like, what to do about it. It's going to show up on, like, sound, makeup, maybe visual effects, score, and then people are going to go, oh my god, is this All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yeah.
To be fair, All Quiet on the Western Front didn't even get nominated for this award.
That's what I was going to ask.
People didn't catch on yet, but it's pretty likely that it's going to show up in international. I feel like that's an okay bet, maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting that there's 6 because normally I would say, I could see it being All Quiet on the Western Front, getting an Oscar nomination, but then just missing out on the Golden Globes. But with 6 slots, I feel like you could fit it in there pretty nicely, and there's not a ton of locks. There's 3 movies that I think are very easy to place in here, and then everything else.
Some more options. American Fiction, which has a nice score, but it's not like extremely
It's not a lot, but if
punchy.
they wanted to over fucking nominate the movie, they could do it.
Yeah.
But I think it would be strange.
Another possibility is Past Lives. I think this is not the kind of place that Past Lives would get into for score. I don't know. I think they go for like the bigger stuff.
Now, May December has a score, but it's adapted from another piece, which means that the Oscars will make it ineligible.
I think it's going to be ineligible.
Would that be
everywhere.
ineligible at the Golden Globes?
No, I think it's so adapted that people aren't like considering it or voting for it. The Killer, I mean, here's the case for The Killer. They haven't not nominated a Fincher score since, I think, Zodiac. But The Killer's score, now I listened to a little bit of the score. Once again, I'm always really impressed with these boys whenever I get my ears in those headphones. But a lot of the score is like... A lot of the score is sound design.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's more ambient and probably low-key than other things they've done. And I think that The Killer is less of an awards contender overall than other things he's done. It's kind of off-putting for people who actually think they're getting a thriller. And they're getting like this slow burn, like contemplative movie. So I think maybe that misses. But again, there's a case for it because they just keep nominating their scores for his movies.
Let's say with Wonka, they're pretty swooned by it in a similar fashion to Mary Poppins Returns. I mean, couldn't they do it?
It's just hard to say. Like, I haven't seen Wonka. Like, I haven't seen people say that, like, oh my god, the score is incredible, but people probably weren't saying that about, like, Mary Poppins in the reviews either. I don't think they'll nominate John Williams for Dial of Destiny because they didn't nominate any of the new Star Wars movies for score like the Oscars did. They don't go out for him the same way.
Honestly, Napoleon had some good music. I would not hate it if it ended up here, even though I don't think that movie should be considered remotely for any above the line categories.
And that wouldn't be an insane thing to think, actually, at the Golden
But I don't
Globes.
know if people take that movie seriously, period. I feel like the conversation around it is that it's not so good. Why does this movie exist? And, like, why did Joaquin Phoenix seem so, like, not commanding in it?
Now, Naiad is Alexander Desplat, and they have nominated him for a few of the movies that the Oscars snubbed him for lately.
What do you think of the score in that?
I don't care. That's the thing. Is like I think it's very, very not noteworthy. Barbie, I'm like literally just going down
Barbie
every
barely
possibility.
has a score. It's mostly soundtrack.
It has some score.
It's
but-
some.
No, I know. I don't think it's gonna happen. Asteroid City I also don't buy. I think
No.
it's not even as good as the other scores that he's done for them.
Zone of Interest, remote possibility. Like, very remote.
Like I have more possibilities in this category than any category because I am just stumped. I think there's so many possibilities.
I guess so. I get so many possibilities, and yet too many slots. I really wonder if we're underestimating American fiction.
Let's concede that like we just want 4 out of 5 in this category, right?
In that sense, I would be very open to putting both the animated movies in here because I could see Boy and the Heron popping up.
Boy and the Heron got that MVR nomination today too, which was pretty big.
And Society of the Snow, I am going to predict it for the Oscar most likely, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. Even though I can see it catching fire later.
Right. Catching fire later. I mean, you could do Wonka.
I have a weird thing about American fiction right now.
I don't know about
And
that.
Wonka.
The Golden Globes usually don't nominate musicals for score like when the Oscars don't. Usually the Oscars follow up with it. Ferrari, I have a feeling. Napoleon, there's just a lot. I can't. Too many options. I'll be surprised.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll scream a little bit.
Now, original song. Obviously, there's a lot of ways this could go, but I actually feel pretty fine about what I have in the top 5. We're going for the top 2 Barbie songs. We got the Billie Eilish one. We got I'm Just Ken. I'll be rooting for I'm Just Ken over the other one, but I'm a little worried that the Billie Eilish one's just going to win anyway.
Because it's Billie Eilish or what?
Well, especially at the Golden Globes, maybe.
Well, they gave it to RRR, don't forget.
That's true. You got the song from Color Purple. If that didn't get nominated here, I'd be like, I guess the Color Purple is just going without the song.
Well, I think Wonka will get a nomination here, given that it's a musical.
Yes.
It's sort of like the Oscars minus a Diane Warren song.
Yeah,
right?
they won't do that. They don't do that.
They don't do that. So then you have number 5. What do you think? The Hunger Games?
Oh, no, the Hunger Games, they nominated all 3 Hunger Games movies for... Well, actually, no, there were 4. So they nominated 3 out of 4 of them, and the Oscars nominated none of them. So this is also Olivia Rodrigo, who's, like, having a very big year. And I think, I could see them doing Peaches from the Mario movie. The song from Wish, I mean, look, I think Wish is dead. I think Wish completely died. This is like how people were thinking Strange World is still in. When Strange World got bad reviews and bad box office, nobody cares. Everyone's done with it.
But Song is easier to be a bad movie and get nominated, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Dance the Night from Barbie, for sure. Maybe
That
they'll
could
go
get
with
in.
3. Yeah, it could get in.
Will Barbie get 3 song nominations somewhere?
Perhaps.
Could get it at the Oscars.
It got 4 at the Grammys, I think. The song from The Little Mermaid, don't really think so. The Road to Freedom from Rustin, sometimes they will nominate these inspirational, fight for your rights kind of stuff.
Yeah, but where is Rustin this year? Where is it?
It's in Best Actor here, actually. Animated feature, now this is a category where I think I'm going to do better than Gold Derby. I really do think so. Spider-Verse, Boy and the Heron, they're duking it out for the win. I think Spider-Verse is still going to win, but Boy and the Heron's been making me think that there's like a little bit of tension there.
What, because the NBR gave it to Boy and the Heron?
That movie has like a 92 on Metacritic, did you know? Elemental, it'll be safe for the Golden Globes. I'm not going to 100% say it's locked in for the Oscar, but safe for the Globes. Now, people don't think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem's getting nominated. This is like when people thought Puss in Boots: The Last Wish wasn't getting nominated last year. I don't think it's as much that.
Because people caught on to that.
Because people freaked out about Puss in Boots even more.
Yeah.
But why not? Why not nominate this movie? It's solid. Everyone likes it. As like a 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I don't know why people are saying...
And I also think the Globes totally would.
For example, I'm not sure the Globes will go for Chicken Run, but I think the Oscars might.
I don't think. I think that movie's dead too. That's the other thing.
No. Oh, you can't say
I've
that.
I've declared it dead
because
I'm declaring it dead.
Oh, well, I guess okay. If it was the old branch and it was a branch category and with the old rules, then I would say the Academy
I don't care
Awards
as much.
might very well nominate.
I think Chicken Run's dead because even Pirates and Shaun the Sheep 2 had better reviews than this. People don't care. It's dropping straight on Netflix. It's gonna be quiet. No one's gonna make a peep. It's just yet another sequel. That's what I think.
All right.
And so this is on the top 6 on the Gold Derby. It's not on mine.
Okay.
The Mario movie. Everybody kind of agrees that the Golden Globes are going to let the Mario movie
I kind of feel like that too.
The Mario movie may have a rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, but the buzz overall was very good and obviously made an incredible amount of money. And number 6, I don't have a wish. Again, Wish is dead. Wish is Strange World. Wish is Strange World. Get it through your heads now.
No one feels good about Wish. So who feels passionate about it? Like, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you are passionate about Wish.
That's why I have Nimona. Nimona had this very good buzz. It has good IMDb. Good Rotten Tomatoes, like good audiences like the movie.
Yeah,
people are fans of it. Critics liked it a lot too.
It's a solid movie.
I think that the movie is going to stay around in the race, and I don't see why 6 slots couldn't get it in here.
And Netflix is campaigning it.
Yeah,
they sent you a little poster.
That's right. Now, The Peasants, I think, is possible. They did nominate Loving Vincent, but I'm not like, I don't know. I think I think it has a little bit better of a shot at the Oscar, maybe.
I mean, The Peasants is a period drama that was. Every frame was hand painted after they probably shot it.
It has very good Letterboxd ratings, but the critic reviews are actually like sort of mid. Sometimes the Golden Globes nominate mid animated movies, like they could nominate Migration. I think that's the pick that they could go for if they really wanted to do that. But the past 2 years, they've nominated animated movies that I've never heard of.
Really?
Inu-Oh and My Sunny Mad. So I can't predict that. I even looked on Gold Derby and I was like, I think I've heard of all of these. So. You just assuming that they're not going to do that again, and they fucking might, because this is a 2 year in a row trend. If you really think about it,
wow. I'm
not going to go out there and like find a movie I've never heard of and predict it. But international feature, I think that this is actually quite a rough category to try and predict because there's so many different directions that they could go in. Really? There's a lot of movies that you kind of think, well, this seems like a pretty robust contender, and then it just just doesn't get in everywhere. Like you never really know. Anatomy of a Fall, I think that's going to win. The Zone of Interest, it has a shot in Drama Picture, maybe. I actually don't think that's 100% safe for the nomination. I'm so fucking sorry to myself for admitting it, but
yeah,
the worst person in the world didn't get nominated. So hey, look, I've been disappointed before.
And they all, they didn't nominate Teton. Like they're not that cool.
Yeah, no. I mean, no, I think they'll nominate it though because it's been pretty high profile. Society of the Snow.
Yeah,
gotta have that in. I think that's going to be one of the top contenders for this category, like easily.
Yeah,
and that thing is coming up, is rising. Rotten Tomatoes scores.
That thing might win the Oscar because Anatomy's not there.
What do you?
Society of the Snow.
No, if Zone of Interest gets fucking fucked, then yeah, I agree that Society of the Snow.
I think if Zone of Interest doesn't get anything outside of international, we can say hi to Society of the Snow,
which will probably get at least one Oscar nomination. If Society of the Snow makes the sound shortlist and Zone of Interest doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
My fucking God. I don't understand why you wouldn't nominate Perfect Days, but it's one of those things where I'm not, like, convinced that it's locked. Like, you never know. They could go Fallen Leaves, Teacher's Lounge, Totem could show up in here. Boy and the Heron's eligible.
Why do you have The Taste of Things in here?
Because it's very buzzy. I think Monster is just going to miss, and it's not going to be, like, there's not going to be an obvious reason why.
Yeah.
But, again, like, The Boy and the Heron, if it showed up, I'd be like, of course.
I know.
But at the same time, I think that they might say, well,
They've
that's
done
not
that
your
before,
category.
haven't they?
What, nominated an animated movie here?
Yeah, well, The Wind Rises. They did The Wind Rises. And not an animated, I believe. I don't think it can get both. I think they have to choose.
I don't know if that got changed with the rule that Minari changed. Should I be predicting that?
I think we might want to predict it.
Over The Taste of Things? I actually...
Yeah, do it
I
over
have
The
a bad
Taste of
feeling
Things.
about Perfect Days. I have a bad feeling that I'm gonna watch it get snubbed and say, why? I do kind of have a feeling about Fallen Leaves.
What do the Golden Globes usually do? Do they usually do what you think they're going to do? Or
Yeah, kinda.
Do
Yeah,
they
kinda.
really like watch everything? And
No,
then-
they kind of do what you think they're gonna do. And those are our Golden Globe nomination predictions. My God, they're on Monday.
You feeling scared?
I'm extremely scared because sometimes the Golden Globes snub something and it's a permanent thing. Like De Niro and Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo.
It was like, holy shit.
I mean,
Deadweiler.
Deadweiler, but that wasn't a
She
permanent
ended up
thing.
happening everywhere else.
Yeah.
But you know, supporting actors one category where we're like, we really do think we have it so fucking tied up, don't we? And then I have a feeling the Golden Globes are going to throw us for a mega loop on that. They're going to snub like Defoe and De Niro. They're going to do like Sterling K. Brown and somebody else. Like, but I just can't like. I'm overthinking these things though. I can't actually adapt my predictions. I could be like, oh my God, Jodie Foster's going to get a random snub, and then they're going to put in Rosamund Pike. Like my brain will tell me things,
Yeah.
but. I because I have no reason to think so.
It's just your brain trying to throw you like a curveball and be like,
Yeah.
hey, what the fuck would happen if that happened? Like,
It's fine.
How high would you jump out of your seat?
Look, I think we have a leg up on Gold Derby for the Iron Claw. The fact that people don't think Zac Efron's getting it is amazing.
Well, guess what? They're gonna start thinking it now. It picked up
NBR.
something at MBR.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
What do your nightmares tell you is gonna happen?